Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there was a young man named Arjun. Arjun was exceptionally shy, so much so that he found it difficult to speak with anyone, even with those he knew well. This debilitating shyness made him feel trapped in his own world, unable to reach out or engage with others. As time went on, his inability to communicate effectively became a source of deep frustration and sadness for him, as it held him back from making any progress in life. Arjun's family was also concerned about his future. They worried whether he would ever be able to find his place in the world. Despite their efforts to encourage him, Arjun's straightforward and reserved nature made him an easy target for others to exploit. People often took advantage of his simplicity and naivety, leaving him feeling more isolated. His mother was particularly anxious about his future. She was constantly consumed by thoughts of his well-being, but Arjun never discussed his struggles with her. As a child, his shyness was seen as endearing, but as he grew older, it became a significant obstacle. Arjun desperately wanted to change, to speak freely and assertively, but every time he tried, he felt paralyzed. The young man had only a handful of friends, and even with them, he was often the butt of jokes. People would mock him, saying things like, "Oh, you finally found your voice today?" This ridicule only deepened his fear and insecurity. His father, too, was worried and wished for his son to express himself freely. One day, after a particularly humiliating encounter, Arjun's father lost his temper and scolded him harshly. Feeling humiliated and hopeless, Arjun stormed out of the house, determined to escape from his troubles. As evening fell and he had not returned home, his parents grew increasingly worried. In his distress, Arjun ran to a nearby hilltop, looking out over the edge and questioning the point of his existence. "Why did God make me like this?" he lamented. "Why should I continue living a life where I can't even speak my mind?" As despair threatened to overwhelm him, he prepared to end it all. But just as he was about to leap, a calm voice interrupted him. "Son, it's easy to give up, but once you do, you can never take it back." Startled, Arjun turned to see a Buddhist monk standing behind him. The monk's serene presence and gentle smile gave him pause. The monk continued, "Why do you want to end your life? Life is precious, and only a few are granted this gift. I can see you're troubled, but every problem has a solution." Arjun hesitated but was moved by the monk's words. "I'm fine," he lied, trying to dismiss the conversation. "Okay, if you say so," the monk replied, "but know that I'm here to help. If you wish to solve your problem, you must first share it with me. Only then can I offer guidance." Arjun finally admitted, "I'm shy, Gurudev. I can't talk to anyone, not even my parents. Whenever I try, people laugh at me, and I don't know how to respond." The monk listened intently. Being shy is one thing, but fear is another. Often, fear masquerades as shyness, keeping you silent. "What are you afraid of the most?" "I'm afraid of talking to my father," Arjun confessed. "I worry he'll be angry or that I'll disappoint him." The monk nodded. Fear of speaking is often rooted in deeper fears. "I want you to go to your father and ask him for money, telling him you wish to do something important. If you can do this, I promise to help you further." Arjun was terrified at the thought but realized he had nothing to lose. He went home, gathered his courage, and asked his father for money. To his surprise, his father listened without anger and handed him the money, saying, "I'm proud of you for taking this step. Always gather all necessary information before undertaking any venture." With newfound confidence, Arjun returned to the monk, eager for the next step. Now, the monk instructed, "Return the money to your father, telling him you're not ready yet but will ask again when the time is right." Despite his fear of looking foolish, Arjun followed the monk's advice. His father, far from being disappointed, was understanding and supportive. "You're learning the value of preparation," he said, embracing his son warmly. Arjun returned to the monk, feeling a sense of accomplishment. Gurudev, I did as you asked. Now, please help me overcome my problem. The monk smiled. There is one last task. Take this simple clay idol to the market and sell it for 100 gold coins. Arjun was perplexed but determined. He went to the market and tried to sell the idol, but no one was willing to buy it for such a high price. Feeling defeated, he realized he needed to change his approach. Observing how others in the market were promoting their goods, Arjun decided to highlight the idol's uniqueness. This idol, he began to shout, has the power to solve any problem. It will bring peace and prosperity to your home. To his amazement, people began to gather, intrigued by his claims. Some were willing to pay more than the asking price, and Arjun realized he was speaking with confidence for the first time. As evening approached, Arjun returned to the monk, having sold the idol. Gurudev, he said, I have completed the task. The monk replied, you have found your voice, young man. You now understand that the key to overcoming your fear lies in facing it head on and embracing the confidence within you. Arjun thanked the monk, realizing that the solution to his problem had always been within him. The experience taught him that confidence and courage come from confronting fears and that his voice was his own to reclaim. With the monk's guidance, Arjun returned to his life, ready to face new challenges with confidence and resilience. He learned to express himself and embraced the changes in his life, leaving behind the shy, timid person he once was. If you have got some knowledge from a story, then write a video and subscribe and share it with your friends who need this story.